Hello and welcome. I am Josh Widdicombe. For today, I'm the curator of a place of incredible artefacts and exhibitions, a place that stores the greatest thing on earth. This is my museum of pop culture. As a self-confessed pop culture obsessive, I love the geniuses, the scam artists, and dare I say it, the absolute madmen that have made the records, shows and films that we love. In each series, I will tell you a story of unlikely triumph and usually an enjoyably crushing failure, featuring celebrated stars that in any other industry would probably be politely sacked. It's a show for people more interested in David Hasselhoff than David Lammy, Elizabeth Taylor than Queen Elizabeth I, which, let's be honest, is all of us. Today I'm joined by comedian and my best friend, Tom Craine, and over the next few episodes I'll be telling him about the rise and fall of Mr. Blobby and Noel Edmonds. It is a story you might remember, but it's so much richer and deeper than you ever thought. And if you don't remember it, get ready to hear the maddest thing you've ever heard.
Are you?
A unique day in London's financial markets ended with the Chancellor announcing that the pound was being suspended from the ERM.
Yeah, eat my shorts.
Have no choice but to drive Saddam from Kuwait by force.
You know where you've been tangoed.
Britain in the early 1990s. The hangover of the previous decade was still being felt, and unemployment, privatisation and protests were everywhere.
The rioting began when police tried to clear Whitehall after demonstrators refused to move from the entrance to Downing Street.
Margaret Thatcher was gone.
We're leaving Downing Street for the last time after 11 and a half wonderful years.
But politically, not much had really changed.
As John Major, the Prime Minister, arrives back, as Mrs. Thatcher arrived back in '87, with another victory to give them.
But despite this, the nation found joy and community in popular culture. Music, film, fashion, and at the very heart of it all, British TV was becoming bold and ambitious. On Saturday nights, families gathered around the box not knowing what might happen next.
Gladiators! Ready!
On Gladiators, bodybuilders broke their legs running in giant metal balls. On You Bet, men won prizes for memorising railway timetables. And on Noel's house party, a cheery man with a well-trimmed beard played hidden camera pranks on viewers and B-list celebrities.
I gotcha. What?
Out of this landscape of mayhem came something that no one could have predicted. Mr. Blobby. Pink, spotty, rubber, with an insatiable appetite for destruction.
Come in, Blobby, come in.
What began as a quick gag became a national obsession. He released a chart-topping single, he appeared on duvet covers, crisp packets and lampshades, he even founded a string of theme parks.
Come and see us at Crinkly Bottom at Cricket St Thomas near Chard in Somerset. It's Britain's first TV theme park.
But, like a modern-day Icarus, Blobby flew too close to the sun, and soon his pink and yellow reign of terror had ended as quickly as it had begun, and we all pretended like it had never happened.
For me, and possibly you, it really is the end of an era. I hope your memory will be very kind to us.
But for a brief period, Mr. Blobby had ruled British television, and with it, dare I say it, the nation. This is the unlikely, mad, and strangely heartwarming story of the rise and fall of Mr. Blobby and his creator, Noel Edmonds. Hello, I'm Josh Widdicombe, and I'm joined for the story of Mr. Blobby by comedian and podcaster Tom Craine. Hello.
Hi, Josh.
One reason I wanted you as the person to talk to about this is that you grew up without a television.
I did, yeah, until I was 15.
Until you were 15, which would have been what year?
So that would have been about 1997 was when I first got a TV.
1997, so you missed the peak of Mr. Blobby.
I did, indeed.
So what were your experiences of Mr. Blobby?
Well, I did get to watch telly, but only at the weekends at friends' houses. Basically, I saw Noel's house party on a Saturday at a friend's house, and I'd watch Antiques Roadshow with my grandma on a Sunday, and that was literally my TV intake.
Very different.
It really
very
was, yeah.
different option.
But I still, if I see the opening title with the clock coming out of the car, I get the excitement. But that was literally my TV. So the weekends I would see some things, and Mr. Blobby was part of that because of that.
So for those that weren't in Britain in the 90s, or really have been in Britain ever since, I suppose.
Yeah.
Could you describe Mr. Blobby? Just like layman's terms.
Thing is, for overseas listeners, this will sound like I'm just making this up.
Yeah.
It feels impossible. So Mr. Blobby was I would guess, having not met him face to face, an 8-foot foam character. He was bright pink, yellow spots, goggly eyes, and his vibe was...
That was goggly, not godly.
Godly eyes.
Beautiful godly eyes.
Absolutely. You dive into them. And his sort of vibe was sort of destructive. He would emerge on the show and destroy everything. It was mayhem.
So we will come to Mr. Blobby, but for the first episode, really, we want to talk about Noel Edmonds.
Okay.
Who is the Dr. Frankenstein to the Frankenstein's monster of Mr. Blobby.
Yes.
So let's start where the story really of Mr. Blobby should start, which is with Captain Leonard Pluge.
Okay.
The Conservative MP for Chatham, 1935 to 1945.
What a name.
Yeah.
That sounds made up.
Well, it's spelt Plugge.
Yeah.
And there is some debate online whether it's Pluge or Plug.
Okay.
A kind of hyacinth bucket bouquet situation. And it does matter because we will come to that. So,
okay. Yeah.
Do you want to go with Pluge or Plug?
Let's go with Pluge. Let's see.
Okay, so Captain Leonard Pluge, Conservative MP for Chatham. Okay. Also, and this is not relevant, possible inventor of the car telephone.
Really?
Apparently. Right. But neither of those facts matter.
Yeah.
He was a First World War Air Force veteran. But the reason we're interested in him is he is kind of known as the inventor of offshore then pirate radio.
Ah, okay.
So he created the International Broadcasting Company in 1931, which was basically the BBC existed in the UK.
Yes.
And they provided all of the radio in the UK. And then he created the International...
Real monopoly situation for the BBC early on. It was the place to work.
It was the place. It really was.
Yeah.
And they had the licenses and you couldn't just set up a radio license. So what happened was Pluge was a radio lover. And what he used to do is he would go on holiday and he would collect schedules of radio stations abroad. And then that was when he was motoring around Europe.
Yeah, he was single at the time, I'm guessing. Yeah.
And then he would sell them to the BBC to publish in the Radio Times.
What?
So that's what his holidays were.
So overseas listing.
I know.
Is that for people to be able to listen to here?
I don't know what the Radio Times were getting out of that.
Yeah.
Because presumably they were at slightly out of... I don't know.
This is what's on between 2 and 3 in Menorca. Well, how is that?
I just don't know.
I've got another question. Does that mean that you could tune your radio at home to listen to these overseas broadcasts?
That's the thing. So Pluge was on holiday in Normandy. He asked the cafe owner in Café Cologne, which was in a coastal village of Normandy called Widdicombe, what there was to see in the town.
Right.
Presumably...
Yeah, well, there's one historical place I can recommend. Something quite big happened.
Well, I'm presuming he said also, word to the wise, I love radio.
Yeah.
So the guy told him there was a family called the Legrand family in this town.
The big family?
Yeah, the big family. The big family, exactly. And they owned the town's distillery and they had a small radio transmitter.
Right.
Behind a piano in the house. Right, and a local cobbler's business had been using it to broadcast and get their name out there. So Pluge goes there to this family's house.
That's a decision from a marketing point of view if you run a cobbler's. And then how do we get the word out? We have to do a radio show, obviously.
Who's tuning in?
Yeah.
Because presumably they're not... You're just transmitting into the ether and people are going, wait a minute. Should we just tune the radio somewhere and see if... Oh, I do need to get my shoes fixed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good luck to them.
So basically, he goes there and he offers to buy some broadcast time.
Right.
Because he's realised that in Normandy, that will reach the UK.
Ah.
So he sets up the first offshore radio. And that is his company, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So he sat behind someone's piano in their front room. Doing his first broadcast.
And then he goes to get some money out of the bank, right? And to buy some records to broadcast.
Yeah.
The cashier, who is called William Kingwell, is English. And Pluge goes, do you fancy a show?
It was easier to get word back then, wasn't it?
This guy motorcycles over on Sundays, hosts the shows, and this guy is now known as the first ever DJ.
Wow, that's so cool.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, that's amazing.
So Pluge basically becomes the inventor of offshore radio. There's Normandy, Toulouse, Paris, Barcelona, Madrid, Rome, all these places he's got shows from, or radio stations from. Radio Normandy has a bigger listenership than the BBC in the south of England on Sundays when it's on.
Wow, that's amazing.
Bit of trivia. If he's called Plug, there is a rumour that that's where the word to plug a record comes. You know, plugging records as in making people play records. That is the rumour. The dictionary contradicts that, but that is a rumour. Which brings us to Noel Edmonds.
Okay.
So Noel Edmonds is the creator of Mr. Blobby. Noel Edmonds was born 1948. So when he's a child, there's a lot of pirate radio going on, and the BBC radio is rubbish for kids. I want to sum up Noel Edmonds for people that don't know who Noel Edmonds is, because he's the key character in this story. Noel Edmonds is basically, he will come to dominate British radio and television for the next 40 years as a presenter. Sum up his character, when Noel Edmonds did Desert Island Discs, the one luxury item he'd take to a desert island was a motorway service station.
That's brilliant.
Just the practicality,
absolutely.
the simplicity.
Yes.
And also, obviously, there's a lot of items there.
Also, if the rules are that broad, surely wouldn't it just be boat? You just take a boat and get off the island and return to the mainland.
The motorway service station is an item.
Yeah.
So
also not sustainable.
No.
You're not getting enough passing traffic if it's on an island.
Exactly.
It's going under.
I basically just want to give a few facts to get an idea of Noel Edmonds for people who don't know who he is. That's number one. Number two, here's a quote from 2019, what Noel Edmonds says when people ask him what his secret to his success is.
Yeah.
People are always asking me that. I tell them to mind their own business. Go and learn something for yourself.
Yeah.
Be curious. That's all I ask of people. I'm not going to tell you where the gold is buried until you come over to my side.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you want to know what Noel Edmonds looks like, so he's got a kind of beard, swept back hair. Ellis James, our friend the comedian, did warm up on his show Deal or No Deal, which we'll cover later in the series. And he described Noel Edmonds' look as a lion who's gone to a fancy dress party dressed as a man. So that's the man we're dealing with.
Yeah. It's the least likely look for a TV star, isn't it?
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a TV star. That's kind of what's also fascinating about him is he doesn't present like most presenters. All these sort of things I'm sure you'll come to, but he's
not good looking, or he doesn't have a generic star quality like you imagine, say, an Anton Deck. He's a middle-aged man, almost from the start.
Yes. Yeah. He's always been middle-aged.
He's always been middle-aged.
Congratulations, it's a middle-aged man.
I'd say the thing about Noel Edmonds, whatever era he's in, he seems to be wearing the wrong jeans.
Yes.
Always the wrong shape, whatever era he's in.
Yeah.
So, Noel Ernest Edmonds, born 1948 in Essex. He says he remembers watching the Val Doonigan show on TV with his parents, Lydia and Dudley, and saying, I want to be a TV presenter.
Oh, really?
They put him through private school, even though they haven't got much money. So when Noel then, after sitting his A-levels, turns down a place at university to become a DJ, right, he said, when I told my dad I was going to be a disc jockey in Luxembourg, I must have broken his heart, but he forgave me and said, okay, go and be the best disc jockey there is.
Oh.
It's quite nice, isn't
It is lovely, yeah, no, it's great.
And he does it in a way.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
He gets a job as a newsreader on Radio Luxembourg, which is an offshore radio station, not a Pluge radio station, I don't think. I might be wrong on that. But it's great.
Once again, this is because they're allowed to broadcast.
They're allowed to broadcast the UK.
And the UK people can hear, yes.
Yeah, so they broadcast from abroad because they're outside of UK laws, basically.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It is. I don't know whether Noel went to Luxembourg.
Yeah.
So I was reading about it, and it implies a lot. Sometimes it was recorded in the UK, and then the tapes were taken across to be played back.
Okay.
But I don't know on that. whether Noel had to move to Luxembourg. He said, you cannot imagine how exciting it was to be broadcasting pop music in the 60s.
Yeah.
The BBC had been giving us a couple of hours a week, then suddenly these new pirate radio stations were playing it round the clock. It felt like we were in America. And I think in the 60s, when you see John Lennon and Paul McCartney being interviewed, they're obsessed with America. America just felt incredibly exciting in the 60s.
It's interesting, isn't it? I think I speak to my mother-in-law about the experience of being young in the 60s.
Yeah.
And how this music felt like it was something for them. It was a cultural movement for them.
Exactly.
Whereas actually you look at a lot of traditional broadcasting back then, it really wasn't for young people. It was quite straight, posh, old English voices making you listen to stuff that really wasn't for you.
Totally.
So for them, it was like, oh, actually, this is something we can own. This is something we can be, this is exciting. This is kind of,
And we imagine Noel Edmonds because when we were young, Noel Edmonds was kind of middle-aged. And as we will get to, he turns into a really bizarre guy in later age.
Yeah.
He was young and cool. And being on Radio Luxembourg was kind of the coolest thing you could do, apart from a radio station called Radio Caroline. So Radio Caroline launched in 1964 as a rival to Radio Luxembourg.
Right.
It was on a ship anchored 4 miles off the Essex coast.
Wow.
So cool.
Love it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is Radio Caroline on 199 meters, your all-day music station, Britain's first commercial radio station. My name's Tom Lodge, your disc jockey for the next hour.
I'd love to know, the logistics of...
Yes.
But it's basically going to work on a rig. I don't know whether you're being taken there and back or whether you're living on the ship or whatever.
I remember watching a documentary, if memory serves me correct, they would stay out there for week-long shifts and then new DJs would be brought out and then they do a week.
Amazing.
And then supplies would also be brought out by boats that would come in and out. So basically you would stay out there and do, like working on a rig, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Radio Caroline.
A really funky oil rig. An oil rig replaced the hottest.
Yeah,
tube.
where you're wearing flares.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Radio Caroline is much cooler than Radio Luxembourg. It launched in 1964. Its slogan is your all-day music station, which was a shot across the bows at Radio Luxembourg, which only broadcast at night.
Love it.
And also to the BBC's patchy coverage of music.
Okay.
And the first song they played was Not Fade Away by the Rolling Stones, which was seen as a dig to Radio Luxembourg's patchy signal.
Was it? Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
This is vinyl. This is vinyl records.
Vinyl
being
records.
played live.
Vinyl records on a boat 4 miles from Essex.
Yeah. Choppy weather, I'm worried about the needle skipping. That's my main concern. Yeah. But still. It is cool. It's exciting. It is. It's young. It's sort of
2 years later, there's 23 million listeners of Radio Caroline.
Whoa!
Yeah. The BBC is so concerned about it that they commissioned an internal report named The Caroline Phenomenon, which referred to listeners as addicts.
Okay.
Because people don't understand the young in the 60s. 1967.
Well, that speaks to exactly what my mother-in-law was saying about it. That is the establishment. That is the language of the establishment, isn't it? Exactly. That these are a problem. This is something that needs to be got rid of,
Wow. The establishment come in and they crush Radio Caroline. Oh.
Illegal transmission? Illegal reception, certainly. Millions tune in, but few realize they can be fined up to £50 for listening. Now the stations themselves are threatened by the long arm of international law. The Carolines can each be heard over a 100-mile radius. They claim a peak audience of 39 million, a weekly income of £18,000. The European agreement to ban radio ships should be ready this month, but it could be June before the British Parliament ratifies any action against Caroline and her companions.
The government does something called the Marine Broadcasting Offences Act in 1967, which forces all but 2 Caroline stations off air and basically says you can't sell advertising in the UK, stops people buying advertising on them, kills Radio Caroline, kills pirate radio, but as part of it, the BBC are forced to launch Radio 1 as a kind of... to offer children a way of, or children and teenagers, the teenage phenomenon in 1967, Radio 1, which begins in 1967 as a response to these pirate radio stations.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But now, with the clock ticking slowly up to 7 a.m., it's going to be time to welcome Radio 1's first early show on 247 meters medium wave, whilst Breakfast Special continues on Radio 2. 10 seconds to go before Radio 1, Tony Blackburn, and Radio 2, Paul Hollingdale. Stand by for switching. Get tuned to Radio 1 or 2. 5, 4, 3. Radio 2, Radio 1, go.
The voice of Radio 1. just for fun. Music too much.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the exciting new sound of Radio 1.
The View from the BBC was resistant to the idea. Tony Benn was the politician who did it. Lord Normanbrook, BBC, absolutely the kind of person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Said you can't have popular music all the time. It would be like having pubs open all day, which obviously wasn't allowed then either.
Yeah.
Noel, he's not gonna take the cash, is he? He's straight on Radio 1. Of course he is.
Good lad.
Well, 2 years later, Noel joins Radio 1. Okay, he gets a job doing competitions and trailers for £7 a week, and he was earning...
I have no idea what that is.
Well, not much,
be
because he was earning £3,000 a year at Radio Luxembourg. So he's taking a massive pay cut, right?
Yeah.
And when he was earning £3,000 a year at Radio Luxembourg, that was more than his dad was earning as a head teacher.
Wow, okay.
So he'd already done that, and he does incredibly well on Radio 1 because he's great. Within 4 years, he's hosting The Breakfast Show.
Morning, Britain. It's Friday, the 7th of December. This is National 247. Radio 1 with ya!
You gotta get up in the morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart.
A very good morning to you.
People gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel.
Oh, I hope you feel immaculate.
Noel Edmonds, the number one.
He's kind of anarchic. He loves pranks.
Okay.
Do you want to give a taste of what he did on April the 1st one year? He told people that the show was being broadcast live from an aeroplane from Gatwick to Aberdeen.
Right.
They even employed an air hostess to deliver links and played aeroplane sound effects throughout.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but by that point...
It's actually going the other way, wasn't it? It's from Aberdeen. It was a return flight.
On you.
Exactly, yeah.
700 listeners were in Aberdeen waiting for it to land.
Brilliant.
It's a great prank.
Okay.
It's a great prank.
I initially was going to say that's a bad prank because it actually doesn't affect the listener.
Yeah.
But as soon as you said that people actually turned
that
up.
also shows quite how popular it is that 700 people in Aberdeen have gone, I'm going to go to watch a plane land. He said, I can't stand it when I hear people say they imagine the average listener out there. Mrs. X, who's a housewife in Solihull, absolute rubbish. You do a radio show to amuse yourself. So having accepted that that is the game of the insane, I don't think you should ever overanalyze it.
Interesting.
I like that.
So his feeling is that, so he's doing it just for what he would enjoy.
Just do what you want.
That's interesting. In television, there's a particular person is often named, is it Mary and Bolton or something like that? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, Linda and Leeds.
Linda and Leeds, that's it. And in a lot of shows, when things are made, it's with this person in mind.
Yeah, but
that's counter to that. That's completely, that's against actually a lot of sort of production values that would be knocking.
He does what
today.
he wants. When he was on the Sunday show, he did it from an imaginary world of a place called Dingley Dell, which was a cottage in a rural enclave.
Love it.
In a weird way, we will see that ends up being the premise for Noel's house party, which is where Mr. Blobby comes from.
Yeah.
One more quote from Radio 1 and Noel Edmonds. I was brought up to be loyal, trustworthy, hardworking, and to deliver. If you hired Noel Edmonds to do something, then by God, he worked hard at it. When all the other Radio 1 DJs were larking about, I was hard at work preparing the content for my shows. Where are they now?
There's an element of Partridge, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Suffice to say, I had the last laugh.
I just think that I've never known anyone with more self-confidence than Noel Edmonds. I think one of the things I want to ask you at the end of this is, do you like Noel Edmonds?
Yes.
Because he's, I would say now in the UK, he's a bit of a joke figure, Noel Edmonds. And I actually think when you look at his career, and there are missteps, and we will come to them, but I think he is an incredibly talented host. Because the stuff he does is quite light entertainment-y, he doesn't get the respect he deserves because people presume it's a bit naff.
I think time is quite unkind often in that way, in that nothing can remain cool, can it?
No.
Everything shifts.
Yeah.
And even the band look at the Rolling Stones, whoever happens, they'll come on now. There's still there's now suddenly
First person
it's like,
who's ever compared Mick Jagger and Noel Edmonds.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, they both look great for their age.
But it's very hard for some, and like, young people provide the commentary on things as they exist. That's basically what happens. But let's look at that. So he's clearly someone who's actively doing stuff, trying new ideas. He's putting himself out there. The fact he's doing pirate radio, he's coming up. He's definitely an ideas person, and
totally.
That can't be disregarded.
No, and he is really
talent.
good at this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So he then gets his deserved move to television.
There's half an hour of championship ice skating in Easy on the Ice at 8 o'clock. But first, here's Noel Edmonds.
Right, come on, you're not supposed to enjoy yourselves. Pay attention at the back. After all, it is Top of the Pops.
He gets his deserved move to television. He hosts Top of the Pops, which is the BBC's main music show for 4 decades. He hosts that from 72 to 78. Absolutely. And then in 1976, he gets his own Saturday morning show. Mm-hmm. Now, we grew up in an era where the kids' Saturday morning show was kind of, it doesn't exist anymore, but in the 90s, it was just, that's what Saturday mornings was. Live and Kicking, Going Live, and then SMTV with Ant and
So this is something that slightly passed me by, because I would go to friends' house and watch TV in the afternoons and evenings, whatever it happens to be. But the morning television is actually something that I missed often.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like a magazine show on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Noel basically invents this on Swap Shop.
Amazing. Okay.
So it's called Multicoloured Swap Shop. To quote The Guardian, Edmonds broke the mould on patronising children's TV. Right. He presided over an anarchic show in a T-shirt with long hair, no earpiece or a script. This is one of the things that will blow your mind about Noel Edmonds. Obviously, we both work in television.
Mm.
Noel Edmonds hosts all his live television without an earpiece. Now, that doesn't sound much. It's really, really difficult. I don't host a live television show. I'm a guest on The Last Leg. I couldn't host it. It's too difficult.
Yeah.
He hosts a live TV show, all the information, all the timing, everything he needs to know, without an earpiece. He just learns it.
Wow.
And then just does it live on BBC One.
Yeah, that's very impressive, isn't it?
Which I think Noel Edmonds is a kind of sign of brilliance and madness go very close together.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be able to do that takes a certain...
And confidence and self-belief.
Yeah, I wonder whether it is that skyscraping self-belief that allows him to do that.
That's fascinating, isn't
Whereas
it?
if I did it, I'd be thinking, I can't do this.
Yeah.
What if it goes wrong? Whereas he's just like, I'm Noel Edmonds.
So would these be quite long segments that he'd be hosting?
He'd do an hour of Noel's house party.
Yeah.
He's in every shot. There's no VTs. And he hosts the whole thing.
Wow.
With no earpiece.
Wow.
Just live.
Well, when I have a house party, I have friends around at a house party, I have an earpiece of that. Even that I find stressful. Friends over for dinner.
You need to speed up the main course. We're coming to the end of the main course. You're going to need to...
I can smell smoke.
Yeah.
But no, that is
You're
amazing.
going to need to apologise because legally what you said, that doesn't carry weight and you shouldn't be swearing.
What's also amazing about that is that timing is... Things shift and things overrun, so you're having to drop, you're having to do all these things on the fly. That's an incredible talent to do.
Yeah, he starts that on Multicoloured Swap Shop, right, which is a Saturday morning show. Basically,
so how does that work?
It's based around kids swapping stuff.
Hello, yes indeed, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the Swap Shop. A lot of calls, a little bit of silliness, plenty of variety, and as many letters as I can get through.
So there's 10 phone lines, which was new. Phone-ins were new.
Yep.
1,000 calls they'd get, and then they'd put about 30 on air, and people would swap stuff, basically.
Okay. So
kids would
one
go,
kid speaking to
I've
another
got
kid.
a space hopper.
Yeah.
And another kid would phone in and go, I've got some top trumps. Do you want to swap them?
Yeah.
And then there was a kind of outside broadcast, which was the Swaporama.
Right.
Where Keith Chegwin, who's a kind of, for those that don't know who Keith Chegwin is, he's a kind of cheeky chappy, professional cheeky chappy.
Yes.
There'd be like 1,000 kids and they'd all meet up and it'd be like a big, almost like a fete or whatever, where kids would just swap stuff.
Yep.
And he'd be there and they'd film that and they'd cut to that. And that would always be near a football match that the BBC were also broadcasting so they could double up on the technology and the cameras.
Great.
And then there'd be a feature called Collector's Corner where children would write in with their collections. It's all very quaint.
Yeah, yeah.
But
that speaks to something a happy memory I have, which is the Auto Trader type, whatever the equivalent was. There was a pink paper that used to be sold in the West Country where people would write in the back things they were looking to sell or things they were looking to swap. And I, at the weekends, would leaf through that. Oh, someone's trying to sell a Game Gear for £90 and it'd have the address. Literally the home phone number of the person and where they live. Yeah, exactly.
There's no internet.
I used to love looking through those and kind of working out.
You'd have loved multicoloured swap shop in the 70s.
Yeah, I had a telly.
Do you want some highlights of Collector's Corner? Angela Hamblin from South Wales. She collected plastic bags. So they featured her. She had 120 plastic bags she kept in a suitcase.
Is that enough? I don't think 120. I don't think I'm particularly shy of 120 plastic bags. I'm not sure this is the place for bragging, but I think we've.
We all collect plastic bags these days.
I would say we have at least 45 plastic bags, so I'm halfway. She had an average amount of plastic bags.
There was gas masks.
Okay, how many?
I don't know.
Okay, fine.
Road signs. I think that's dangerous.
Yeah. The first question is how have you got hold of those?
Yeah, exactly. That's like that guy that goes on. Have you seen the clip of the guy on Antiques Roadshow who goes on with a Banksy? And they're like, "Where did you get it from?" And he was like, "Oh, I saw it, so I removed it." And they're like, "Yeah, well, you can't do that."
I like the idea that loads of other collectors haven't made it there yet because she's taken the road sign that points to where the recording is. Okay, yeah.
It was a big show.
Yeah.
Margaret Thatcher was a guest on it. This was post Noel. She did a kind of phone-in Q&A.
Yeah.
A child phoned in and said, in the event of a nuclear war, where will you be?
To
Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, she, of course, collected the jobs of miners in sort of the valley towns. And the milk from the mouths of primary school children.
Do you know what? You've shown her who's boss.
Exactly, yeah.
So the kid says, in the event of nuclear war, where will you be? Alison Steadfast, that is the kid. My goodness, yeah, that's like a comedy character of Alison Steadman. You know, on FIFA when they can't clear the names, so you can't clear Alison Steadman, so you're having to call her Alison Steadfast. My goodness me, says Margaret Thatcher, I shall be in London, and then Alison goes like in a bunker or something. Like really follows it up.
Okay, good.
And then Miss Thatcher kind of pivots and just explains why it's good to have nuclear weapons.
Our special guest this morning, one of the world's most powerful women, the Prime Minister, Mrs. Thatcher. Good morning, Mrs. Thatcher.
Good morning. Hello, Alison.
Hello. In the event of a nuclear war, where will you be?
Oh, my goodness me. I should be in London.
Oh, don't you have your own bunker or something?
Look, dear, let me again point out, the possession of these weapons has kept the peace for 40 years.
So there you go.
It's a fun kids show, isn't it? I don't think you need to be going into nuclear armament, do you?
Well, to be fair, Alison Steadfast is brought up.
Okay, yeah, fine.
To be fair, Margaret Thatcher can't.
Yeah, okay.
She can't move into swapping.
Yeah, fair point.
And I suppose, in many ways, the way out of nuclear war is a swap of nuclear weapons.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So she could have moved into that.
Swapping of ideas, diplomacy.
Exactly.
Yeah, so actually, thank you, Alison, for bringing that up, I'd like to say. Yeah, if she's listening.
Swap Shop. There's not many clips that exist anymore. It was a kind of iconic show. It went head-to-head with Tiswas, which was the ITV version. Not many clips exist because the BBC, they sold the tapes to be taped over in Australia.
They swapped the tapes.
So basically, the technology didn't exist anymore in the UK. They changed to a different camera.
And they recorded over them all.
But Australia was still using those type of cameras. So the BBC were like, well, we could sell these tapes on and Australia could just use them for their TV shows. So there's not many clips that exist.
Loads of home and aways over them now. I want to watch any of the home and away back catalogue. Occasionally,
just
little moment from Swap Shop will
just
come in. Yeah.
Noel Edmonds.
Margaret Thatcher looking furious.
Noel Edmonds, he's all over TV by this point. He hosts Top Gear, which in those days isn't like the Jeremy Clarkson version. It's just a car review show.
Oh, right. Okay.
Would you like to see a clip of Noel reviewing the Fiat Strada?
Would I ever?
This car I'm in at the moment is the new Fiat Strada, but I just find the layout of this dashboard and its general design and the switchgear, for me, absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to stare at a clock the whole time. If some designer wants to give me a clock that big, then I at least would like it on the left-hand side, but ideally I just don't want to know the time that much. They might have put hours and hours of work into this car, but for me, it just doesn't happen. I just remain staggered that anybody in the late 70s, early 80s can come up with a design like this, because I think it is positively ugly. To me, it looks like a young child wearing very unfortunate national health specs.
There you go. Now, you think that's quite a normal clip.
Yeah.
When he mocked the Fiat Strada, Fiat tried to sue the BBC.
Did they?
For that. And basically had to apologise for his comments because he'd been too mean about the Fiat Strada.
He's right. It does look like a child in bad glasses.
I don't want to get in trouble with Fiat. Those are your views. They are not the views of the show, Craine.
The design thing that he points out in that is that the clock, the massive clock, is front and centre in front of you rather than the speed dial.
Yeah.
Which isn't needed. Because, as he said, nobody needs to know the time that much.
Well, he does. He hasn't got
right.
an earpiece. Of all the people that needs a clock at all points. He's that good at keeping time in his head. He doesn't need a clock in the car.
He doesn't need any dials.
He doesn't need any dials.
Yeah, exactly.
I can feel speed at the right speed.
Yeah, completely.
He doesn't host Live Aid. He's got a great role at Live Aid.
Yes.
His role at Live Aid, because obviously Noel, he can fly helicopters.
Yeah.
Noel, he's got a helicopter himself.
Wow.
License plate G Noel.
Okay. Right. Why G Noel?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because Noel was taken.
Yeah, okay.
Good Noel. Great Noel.
Great Noel. Okay, yeah.
His job is he helicopters people to and from the gig.
Ah.
So Phil Collins at Live Aid is the only person who played both Live Aids.
Right.
Phil Collins played the UK Live Aid in London, and then he flew to Philadelphia by Concorde to drum for Led Zeppelin.
Wow.
A performance that was so bad that Led Zeppelin will not allow the footage to be shown ever and blame Phil Collins for embarrassing them. But in the middle of that, he got helicoptered from Wembley to presumably Heathrow by Noel Edmonds.
Amazing.
So
That's
Noel
incredible.
is everywhere at this point. He's an absolute legend of the TV, and he moves into evening with a show.
Is that covered at all in the Live Aid coverage, or is he just doing that?
He's not doing that. Well,
out of the goodness of his
he
heart.
is doing it out of the goodness of his heart.
Yeah,
Let's be
yeah,
very
yeah,
clear
yeah.
on that.
But he crops up on the yeah.
It's part of the spectacle.
Okay, yeah.
Is that Noel Edmonds is flying the helicopters?
Okay.
And I think he might have owned a fleet of helicopters, but I'm not sure on that.
Okay.
Write in if you know more about Noel's helicopters.
Yeah.
1992, he goes to the evening. He goes from Saturday mornings to Saturday evenings, and he calls it the Late Breakfast Show.
Yes.
Which I think is
a funny title.
I think that's a good
Yeah, it
title.
is good. Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. This show is mad. I want you to watch the titles. Set to a song written by Gary Kemp and Spandau Ballet.
Okay.
That's how many strings Noel can pull. I want you to describe what you're seeing in the title sequence.
Okay.
And whether Noel's ego is starting to get big.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Noel Edmonds eating an egg very, very quickly at breakfast, and he jumped into a bright red Ferrari. Okay, good. Of course he has.
With Noel 1 as the...
Reach around the corner. Okay, now he's in a speedboat.
And he's driving the speedboat himself.
Amazing. Helicopter. How can we... It's got to be a helicopter. Off goes a helicopter, and then possibly driving a white cab. We're not quite sure if he's driving that. And then it drops into Late Breakfast Show. Wow, that's a lot, isn't it?
It's basically like an action film in which Noel Edmonds...
Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Noel Edmonds drives, he has some toast.
Yeah.
Gets in a red Ferrari.
Yeah.
Gets in a speedboat. Gets in a helicopter. And then gets in a taxi. I don't know why he needs the taxi.
Also, that is not a workable commute on a day-to-day basis. You either need to be renting a hotel room nearer to the BBC the night before the record.
Yeah.
You can't every morning be going in a Ferrari, helicopter, speedboat and cab to get to work. You can't continue that. It's not sustainable. There's an amazing comment on the YouTube. I watched that last night, actually. The YouTube comment underneath said, apparently at the end of the show, they play that, but backwards at the end.
Oh,
so it ends with him regurgitating an egg. Because it begins with him it starts with him eating an egg at the breakfast table. So it ends with him regurgitating the egg. It's fantastic, yeah. But another thing that makes you think of is the fact the money in television.
The money is mad.
Any of those things would not be doable now.
Yeah. The money that was going around in TV at that point is insane.
Yes.
Initially, despite the title sequence, it's not doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically they get in big name bands to win over viewers. ABBA's last ever TV appearance on Late Breakfast Show. They booked Paul McCartney. It's just a good booking. Even in 1983.
He was in the Beatles.
He was in the Beatles. I don't ruin it. We'll probably do a series on that. So the booking of Paul McCartney is a great kind of window into how television works.
Yeah.
So Paul McCartney's got a new single, which is him and Michael Jackson.
Oh, wow.
And it's Say, Say, Say is the song. The video cost 500 grand, which is a lot of money.
Oh.
A lot of money these days,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
1983. But the video is such that it's not ready when the single comes out.
Right, okay.
So by the time the video comes out, the song is falling down the charts.
Oh.
But he flies to London to get it on Top of the Pops, right? And Top of the Pops have a policy: we will not broadcast any single that is falling down the charts.
Perfect.
Paul McCartney's livid.
Yeah.
And Paul McCartney is rumoured to have threatened to withdraw all of Paul McCartney's music from the BBC.
Wow.
So the BBC say, all right, you can go on the Late Late Breakfast show.
That's fine if you just mean wings. Oh, I do mean that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you win. You can go on the Late Late Breakfast show, but only if you appear live and give an interview. All right?
Oh, okay.
And him and Linda go on, and he gives his first interview in 10 years on British television.
Wow, that's cool.
But, and this is the words of Wikipedia, some reportedly hostile backstage production negotiations.
Right.
The whole show has to be themed around his video.
What?
And Olivia Newton-John, who is the original booking.
Yeah, big name.
Basically has to agree to be in a skit to promote Paul McCartney's video. And she is livid. However, do you want a happy ending to the story?
Yes.
The video means that the song goes back up the charts.
Yeah.
And what does that qualify for him? He's back on Top of the Pops.
Love it.
It's a great
That's a
story,
lovely little
isn't
twist.
it?
That's a really nice story, yeah.
But the biggest feature on this show is Give It a Whirl. Give It a Whirl is insane. Basically, a member of the public phones in and they say, I want to play Give It a Whirl. It's a wheel that they spin and it has a string of incredibly dangerous stunts on it.
Okay.
And then the member of the public has a week to learn this stunt and then they will do it live on the show next week.
That's incredible.
And so multiple
With a view to winning something? Or just
I
the experience?
don't know whether there's a prize or to be on TV.
Okay.
In those days, to be on TV is,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Now, ten a penny. Multiple serious injuries result from these stunts.
Right.
Do you want to have a guess how Barbara Sleeman broke her shoulder?
Riding a bull.
Fired from a cannon.
Okay. Oh, poor old Barbara.
Poor old Babs.
Barbara is not the name of someone who should be fired from a cannon.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was actually a thing that happened outside of cartoons.
Yeah. I think in the circus it used to.
And I don't know. I presumed the main danger would be to the feet.
Yes.
Because unless Barbara's mistake was getting in head first.
She dropped her watch. Give me a second.
Oh, no.
Wow.
So Barbara's fired from a cannon.
And dislocated her shoulder.
She broke her shoulder.
She broke her shoulder. Okay, yeah.
The BBC was twice threatened with legal action.
Yeah. I mean, you're literally climbing into a weapon. What are you doing? It's famously was used to bring down
TV
ships in the Spanish Armada or whatever else to be. It's not something you should be climbing inside. It's insane, Barbara.
Twice threatened with legal action, the BBC, by the Health and Safety Executive.
I can see why.
Health and Safety. So one of the stunts they were threatened with legal action was plucking a member of the public from an exploding... Barbara was hoping for that.
Okay. Hear me. That's risky.
I might break my shoulder that way. Plucking a member of the public from an exploding chimney by a helicopter.
Wow. So... you need to describe how that works.
Well, I don't know. That's all I've got. I don't know. In my head, they're on the chimney. It's going to explode. The helicopter comes past with a ladder.
I think a chimney might... I'm imagining a small chimney. The sort of
not
might
like
go
a
down.
Father Christmas.
You
I'm
mean like
imagining a Fred Dibner.
Yeah,
I'm imagining a Fred Dibner
That is exciting.
I mean, I don't know. Write in with your own images of what this would have been. September the 10th, 1983. Richard Smith fractures his pelvis and injures his head, neck, and back.
Right.
Do you want to have a guess?
What's he done? So is it pelvis?
I mean, everything. Pelvis, head, neck, and back. It's all of it.
Okay, I'm going to go...
Do you know what? You're never going to get it. So
okay.
I'm going to cut in on you.
Yeah.
He jumped a car over a load of buses at 140 miles an hour.
Wow.
The footage of this is clinically insane.
Yeah.
So it's an outside broadcast. John Peel is there doing the outside broadcast.
Okay, yeah.
Do you want to see it?
I'd love to.
Describe what you're seeing here, Tom.
So we are what seems like a sort of like outdoor Brands Hatch sort of tarmac drag racing type track, sort of straight line, sort of wet, cold day.
It's not. Do you know what? He's got unlucky with the weather.
He has got unlucky with
He has got unlucky with the weather.
The surface looks troubling.
So this person is actually.
Oh, the car's coming. Ah, okay. So that looks like quite a normal car.
Yeah, it's
coming.
Not a racing car.
Sort of like a family hatchback, what you would call it. Up a huge ramp. Whoa! Wow, okay. So the car has spun 4 times and smashed on its back. It appears to have gone into the crowd. Is that right?
Into the crowd.
And now there's a fire engine, people in red jackets, a lot of panic.
It's genuinely like nothing you've ever seen. And now can we just listen to Noel back in the studio?
Right, everybody's all right. The car's gone. The car went into the crowd, but nobody's hurt. Well, a reassuring assurance, or was it? John Peel, nobody was hurt. I wish we would keep you posted. The hit squad do dafter things than that in some respect.
So that was Noel reacting to it.
Yeah. I think I might have seen that clip in the past because what I remember about it is the commentator saying nobody's hurt.
Yeah.
Like straight away.
Yeah.
In a way that he's obviously trying to protect the channel, but can't know that nobody's hurt.
You can't know nobody's hurt. If anything, it looks like somebody's hurt.
Yeah.
Because there's not just a man in a smashed car.
Yeah.
It's gone into the crowd.
Nobody's hurt.
Nobody's hurt. Nobody's hurt. Straight away. You can't say that.
Possibly.
Nobody's hurt.
If you're the driver and you're looking out the window, nobody's hurt.
Yeah.
But not if you're commentating from 100 metres away.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I reckon 4 hours until you really know nobody's hurt.
Yeah.
Once the
Absolutely,
hospital have given you the clearance that nobody's hurt. And then you think, quit while you're ahead.
Yeah.
They go again.
Wow.
In the same show, right?
Okay, good.
And one of my favourite bits
And it goes great, yeah?
is John Peel, the commentator, makes a joke at the start that he's moved his commentary table back after last time. So they go again, and it's worse.
And now let's go to Centre Pod and find out how the next live challenge is going to go and whether it remains on the strip or goes into the crowd. Well, Noel, everything was all right after that last one. Oh, very nervous because it came down about where I was standing, but miraculously nobody was hurt. The crowd's moved back, and so you won't be at all surprised to hear
Not
I.
enough.
Also, most importantly,
Moving the crowd
Skippon
back
is all right. A little shake.
I'd leave.
His knees hurt. Rich Smith on his first solo flight. I am moving backwards.
This is going to be worse, isn't it?
I'm a bit of a coward. He's coming up to the ramp now. He's going very, very fast indeed. Very fast.
Oh no!
Oh no! It's fucking insane.
Oh no! The car's completely flipped over front way.
And then you see a fire engine. John Peel's gone quiet.
Interestingly, he's not saying nobody's hurt this time.
No, he's not saying. Let's just listen to what Noel has to say.
It certainly looked remarkably frightening from the pictures I can see. They're sorting him out. We'll keep you posted as to what happens. A reminder on next week's programme, I'll be telling you about the Great Paris Air Race. We have an absolutely magnificent aeronautical occasion when a number of teams are going to try and race between London and Paris, and that will be occurring live on the programme. As I mentioned...
He's linked on too quickly. I think
he has linked on too quickly. But he hasn't got an earpiece.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got to stick to time. If we had an earpiece, people would be going, I think just keep the tone.
Yeah, absolutely.
People don't care about the Great Paris Air Race. If anything...
Yeah.
They don't want fast vehicles at this stage in the game.
You might need the phrase, we're going to go to a break now, and we'll...
Yeah, it's BBC, but I don't think people will mind.
Yeah, exactly. I know Paul McCartney's got a video he wants to play. Just put that in.
Get McCartney on!
Wow. Obviously, the immediate reaction to that is that you could never do that now.
No, of course.
Yeah.
You should never really have done that then. And this is not a great surprise. In fact, it's a kind of horrible end to the show. Is that a few years in, someone dies, which is in the rehearsal, a man called Michael Lush is killed doing a bungee jump.
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
It's just mad
Awful.
that these things were ever allowed. It's not, when you go, it's not that long ago. It's not like 100 years ago where you're going, well, no one had any idea about health and safety.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the 80s.
Yes. Yeah.
But that is the end of the Late Late Breakfast show. Noel Edmonds, Noel Edmonds resigns saying the heart isn't in it to carry on. And so he basically takes 2 years off TV, Noel Edmonds, off that.
Oh, really? Okay, wow.
And then after a couple of years break, Noel Edmonds comes back with a show called Noel Edmonds
He
Saturday
said,
Road
I'm leaving the show. And then he got into a cab, and then into a helicopter, and then to a speedboat, and then to a Ferrari. And then at last he was back home.
Yeah.
And he could relax.
Regurgitating one last egg. Just one last egg.
One last egg.
On the road. He comes back, another Saturday night show. It's called Noel Edmonds Saturday Road Show. People like this show, but it gets changed into something more people-orientated, whatever that means, which is Noel's House Party.
Okay.
And that is a Saturday night entertainment show set in the village of Crinkly Bottom. Bit of fun.
It's good, yeah.
It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Just the right side of cheeky.
Yeah, the rival village, it was called Dangley End.
Was it?
It's all nice. And Noel starts the show by reading the local newspaper.
From Perineum Corner. Which was a bit too much, they said in retrospect.
The newspaper's called the Crinkly Bottom Observer.
Okay,
You know that?
that's good. It's good
nice stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's set in his house. It's like this big country mansion. He's gone back to that kind of idea.
Yeah.
And then there's just various things. There's Grab a Grand, where celebrities come on and they have to grab money for a prize for a listener. There's a Gunge Tank.
Great.
Of course. There's NTV, which is where, this is a good feature, people are watching at home and then Noel will click his fingers and there's a little camera in their house and it'll cut to them.
I remember that very clearly, so much so that I think there was a little bit of a frisson of fear in the room that it could be each time.
Always fear.
Yeah. It can't be, can it?
It can't be.
Yeah.
It isn't.
Yeah. No, it never is, yeah.
And I remember a rumour at my school, which I don't think can be true, because I think the clip would be the most famous clip of history, that a man was wanking.
Yeah, no, it's not true.
It's just not true. Man was just beating himself off to Noel's house party, and they cut to him.
Also, that's not going to think. That's not going to. It's not what you're going to be watching.
No, I suppose he'd be on a different channel, so
Yeah,
the whole
exactly,
thing would be a nightmare because he wouldn't know he'd been cut to. I don't know whether it'd be worse if he was watching Noel's house party. I suppose it's a kind of. Yeah. You know how some people are into a danger wank?
Yep.
I suppose the ultimate one is Noel's house party when he's about to cut to NTV.
It's unlikely they'll cut to you.
It's unlikely, but the excitement of there's so much more to lose than there is to gain by having this wank.
Wow.
But the key feature is the gotchas.
Yes.
So the gotchas are a prank on a celebrity pal of Noel's. And they can be anything. There's like Gary Lineker is tricked into thinking he's on a Japanese TV show. You're talking John Inman doing a bad corporate. That was one I watched.
Right, okay.
Some of them are quite weak.
Yeah.
But they're basically a hidden camera show. The celebrity is made to think something bad is happening to them, and then Noel appears with a trophy called a Gotcha Oscar, which looks like an Oscar for Series 1, not for the Series 2 onwards, because the Academy say it's an infringe of copyright. So they have to change it to just the Gotchas.
Great.
And then comes Series 2. The problem is, right, how do you get Noel into this position? Yeah. How do you smuggle Noel on set? And the answer is Mr. Blobby. And in episode 2, we will come to the unbelievable rise of Mr. Blobby from idea for hidden camera show to the most famous person in Britain. Coming up on the next episode of The Rise and Fall of Mr. Blobby. He's so famous now, the tabloids are desperate for any Mr. Blobby story. So they latch on to revealing who Mr. Blobby is.
Okay.
And the tabloids print a photo, which is... He's being papped going into his house. As you can see, the key detail of the photo...
Huge black bin bag.
Huge black bin bag, which contains Blobby.
Although his face would suggest contains a body.
If you'd like to get in touch with the show, and we'd love you to get in touch because that's the best bit of doing a podcast is actually hearing from the audience. If you've got, something about Mr. Blobby we've missed, something we've got wrong, we've tried our best, don't sue us, just correct us. If you've got any questions, any ideas for subjects, you can email us at museumofpopculturepod@gmail.com, and you can follow us on Instagram at museumofpopculturepod.